up, y'all? So we received an all-terrain cargo bike that has a 48 volt, 45 amp hour battery, advertised to go 210 miles a charge. This bike also has a 750 watt motor with a 1300 watt peak, advertised to go up to 28 miles per hour, but me and my brother and fellow e-bike connoisseur are going to test that out. The bike that we received is a gforce DES. And again, this is a cargo bike. I think it has a rear rack that's a little longer than most. It also has full suspension. I've always wondered what that's like, having full suspension on a cargo bike. I don't know how much this bike weighs. I couldn't see it on the website, and this box doesn't have the weight on it, but when we tried to lift this box, it's over 100 pounds for sure. And the maximum weight of the rider is 400 pounds. So to purchase this e-bike, feel free to use my link and my code in the description below to get a discount. What we're going to do is we're going to unbox this, put it together, go through all of the features, go on-road and off-road, because again, I think it has all-terrain tires. I am doing an e-bike giveaway when I get to 40,000 subscribers. If you want this e-bike, comment below, let me know. In order to be included in this giveaway, you have to be subscribed to the channel. And then I also want you to comment below on what type of e-bike you would like. Like, would you want a cargo bike like this? You want a folding bike? You want like a full-size e-bike? I think right now, all-terrain folding bike is the one that I'm getting the most, but subscribe to the channel, comment below what type of e-bike you want. You're in the drawing, I get to 40,000, I'm giving away an e-bike. The bike looks sturdy. How does the bike look sturdy? Go ahead and take it out of the box here. So this is what the bike looks like fresh out the box. It looks like we got a lot to put together. So I don't know what that is. I'm assuming that's the seat pole or something. We got this box here. We got this box here, and we got that box there. I don't know if all this stuff is mandatory though. Sometimes with cargo bike, they just send you a lot. All right, so we got the bike unwrapped, and looks like we're gonna have to put a lot together on this bike, but it doesn't look like anything is chipped or damaged. We're gonna have to put together this handlebar pole. We have to put that in here. Of course, we have to put our seat pole on, but we also have to put the actual seat on the seat pole. We're gonna have to install our 20x4 in stone all-terrain tire. I've only had in stone on one other e-bike before. Don't know about the durability yet, but the in stone on that other e-bike was pretty grippy. We're gonna have to put our front fender on. We're gonna have to put our handlebar on, which is already attached via wires. We have to put our display on the handlebar and our headlight on. To start, let's go ahead and unbox some of these boxes. All right, looks like we have our kickstand, so we're also gonna have to install the kickstand. We have our pedals, which are labeled. We gotta install the disc brake. Bruh. There's our seat. Let's see how comfortable. Seems pretty soft. Second box here, pretty sure that is our battery charger. Charge our 45 amp hour battery. That's our front axle, so it looks like we don't have a quick release front axle, so okay. A nice array of tools with some hexagon wrenches that I can actually use, the long ones. See what's in this last box. Look like we have, okay, that a huge front basket, or maybe that goes on the back. It didn't come with an instruction manual, but if you scan the QR code on the box, you can get the instruction manual on your phone. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and install this disc brake. So now that we got the kickstand on, I have to remove this. I have to remove this from the brake. We got two different washers. We have a wide washer and we have a semi-wide washer. We're going to go ahead and take the wide washer off to put this axle in, because we want this really wide washer to be on the other side of the tire. The washer that's a little bit shorter, we're going to put that over here where our disc brake is. So we're gonna go ahead and put this front fender on and this headlight. The instructions are just really basic. They don't go into a whole lot of detail, to be honest. So I'm gonna put we're gonna unscrew this, and I'm gonna put my headlight in between here, right? Because That gives us like a flat surface to put this headlight on to make it secure. And then I'm gonna take my front fender, put it behind my headlight, and then I'm gonna put the screw. Here we're not going to worry about getting this screw super tight because we still have to put the handlebar in here, and then we're going to make it super tight after we got our handlebar on so that we can have our alignment. So I had issues charging this battery. Apparently the issue was with the battery itself. So after reaching out to gforce, 2 weeks later, I got a new battery. I mean, getting a new battery in 2 weeks for an e-bike, I think it's pretty elite customer service for me. Does that mean the customer service is going to be elite for you? But my experience has been great with them so far. We got this bike put together, took us about an hour, just because we had to put together so much. This is a pretty long bike for a cargo bike. It's about 6 feet 1 inches from wheel to wheel here. The seat at its lowest point from the floor is about 2 feet 10 inches. The handlebar, which is adjustable, at its lowest point is about 3 feet 8 inches from the floor. Again, looking forward to how these in-stone all-terrain tires are going to perform in our off-road test. They do seem kind of slick, a little bit on the slick side, but I guess not really, but we'll see. Look at that suspension. And I tend to like the coil suspension like this over like air suspension because I think it gives you more like rebound. Give y'all an idea of the reverse suspension. We also have suspension in the front of the bike, which is not adjustable. Looks like you can only open it up or lock it out. We're going to go ahead and open it up. Give y'all an idea of this front suspension. This is the longest rear rack I've ever had on a cargo bike before. It's about, I'll say 2 feet from the battery to the end of this rear rack here. And you can put that huge basket back here if you unscrew these and put the basket on. We're not going to do that in this video. The body of the bike is not foldable, but the handlebar is. So if you want to fold your handlebar, you just push this up here, undo the clamp like that, and then you can fold your handlebar like that. You can also adjust the height of your handlebar. Just undo this, and you can raise the height of your handlebar. Seems like it goes up pretty high. You can use these keys here to put them in here to remove your large 45 amp hour battery. And in order to turn your bike on, you do have to have this plugged into your battery. And I'm starting to think maybe this battery is standard because I've used it on like 2 other e-bikes already. To make it easy to remove this battery, we have this lever under your seat here. So you push this up, and then you can fold the seat like that, make it easy for you to take this huge battery out. Get a look at our rear and front 180 millimeter J Fickle hydraulic brakes. I would say this handlebar is pretty standard for like a folding bike. It's about 2 feet wide, maybe just a little bit wider. We have these hard, kind of rubbery handlebar grips. We have your standard Shimano 7 gear shifter. So we're not going to go ahead and turn this display on. We're going to press and hold the power button. Now I've had this display on several other e-bikes. Display is pretty standard. Now if you press this button on your panel, that turns our small but pretty bright headlight on and our rear light on. And that rear light is also a brake light. Turn that off, and if we click the I button, we'll get more information on your display over here. We have our trip mileage. We haven't ridden the bike at all. Click the I button again. That's our odometer. Maximum miles per hour, average miles per hour. Now look at some of the basic items on the display. We have our battery life at the top. We have not charged the battery. Our speed calculator, pretty sure we can change that from miles per hour to kilometers. our pedal assist modes. Looks like we have, if I click the plus button, 5 different pedal assist modes. We have a twist throttle. Oh, we have a horn. Looks like we have a USB charger that you can use to charge your phone. We're going to our advanced settings. We're going to press and hold the plus and the minus button. So to go from one setting to the next, we press the plus and the minus button. If you want to edit a setting, then you quickly click the I button. This is how bright do we want our display. We're going to keep it at a 3. Click I to save that value. Go to the next, which is how do we want to calculate our speed. Do we want to do miles per hour or kilometers? We're going to keep it at miles per hour. I go to the next one. We're not going to go through all of them, but we will go through some of them. This is our limit speed, so by default looks like 31. And maybe that's miles per hour. Okay, so we'll keep it to the max, which is 31 miles per hour. Okay, that's pretty fast for a cargo bike. Is that it? Hold on, how do I get into more advanced settings here? That can't be it. What you think of that suspension?
Better. I give it like an 8 to 8.5.
Is it because of the suspensions in the back?
Maybe.
gforce DES, what are your thoughts?
It's a good bike. I feel like you could definitely tell that it is meant to be a cargo bike. I feel like this is meant to like hold something, like something large. Yeah, I could go shopping with this. And it's a sturdy bike. Like I felt very sturdy. I felt like I should be carrying something.
Oh, okay. Okay, you felt safe?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I like the brakes. I felt like, of course, I like the twist throttle. Like all-terrain tires are good. It's good on the bumps and stuff. The suspension is surprisingly good. At first, I gave it an 8, but I changed my mind. I give it a 9. Suspension is pretty good. The bike seat, I get it like a 6. It's like
6. Not good, not bad.
Not good, not bad.
You don't like the handles?
I think I would like to have them a little bigger. But other than that, it's a great bike. The speed is good. It's not too jerky. If I pull back the throttle all the way, it don't go. It's like,
It has a mind of its own.
Yeah, I'm moving like this the whole time. But if I just pull it back a little bit, then it'll go like this.
There you go, okay.
I give this bike like 8.8.
8.8. Did you have any issues getting on and off the bike?
No, it's a step through. With shoes on them 5.6.
5.6. So to start our bike shocks, we're gonna test out these in-stone tires. Gonna go through some gravel. A little bit more slipping than I would like. I do feel, but it did rain earlier this morning, so I don't know. Let's brake. I guess it's not that bad. So I guess these tires do have a considerable amount of grip on them, but I don't know if they're like super grippy though, but they have enough grip, you know what I mean? So I'm iffy on whether I will be leaning on this bike because the tires mixed with this vertical swivel handlebar, to me that's the recipe for disaster when it comes to leaning into your turns. So I wouldn't be leaning a whole lot on this bike, making sure I got both hands on the handlebar and being a little bit more gradual with my turns. But I guess the tires are grippy enough to lean, but so we're not gonna go off-road with some hills and I guess with some wet grass. Test out the suspension, test out the tires. Look like it's gonna be a grassy, muddy off-road test here, so let's see how we do. So far so good. Alright, this is okay. Definitely not the best suspension I've had. Go down here. Let's go up here. All right. I think the suspension in the back is definitely making up for the suspension in front. Not bad though, but I wouldn't say this is in my top 10. That's for sure. But the suspension feels very standard. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. It's I can definitely feel that there is dual suspension, but it's not taking a whole lot of the bumps and cracks away, but it's taking enough of it away where if I was to go off road, I won't be in like complete pain, you know what I mean? So scale from 1 to 10, I get a suspension maybe like a 7. I think some of the reason why the suspension seems very shaky is because of the additional suspension on the seat. I just don't think it's necessary. So the pedal assist on this bike, I would say from mode 1 through 3, it's pretty much perfect. Like I don't feel like I'm ghost pedaling. It doesn't send me flying. It's not too delayed. It's perfect for me. But switch it to mode 3. Look like I went up to 9 miles per hour in mode 1. Switch it to mode 3. Again, see how it doesn't send me flying, but it's not super delayed. To me, that's perfect pedal assist. I can't ghost pedal really. I feel like my pedal is still being considered. Perfect pedal assist, and I'm going up to 15 miles per hour. Let's go ahead and brake here. Great brakes. This is what's crazy though. I'm gonna switch it to mode 4, right? So 15 miles per hour in mode 3. Mode 4 and 5, I think it gives you just a little too much pedal assist, but it's not too bad. So I'm in mode 4. See how fast I go in mode 4? See? So 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, right? 26, 27. But I don't feel like I'm ghost pedaling. I feel like maybe I could, but if I wanted to pedal fast enough to catch up with the motor, I could do that too. But the difference between mode 3 and 4, to me, is pretty crazy. Like, mode 4 was at 26, 27, 28, 28 miles per hour. Too much pedal sensitivity in mode 4, in my opinion. Now, I'm 5'11", 6 feet with shoes on. One thing I love about these vertical swivel handlebars is you can adjust the height, you know what I mean? So that means you can not only accommodate different heights of riders, but you can also accommodate different riding postures. Right now I'm in a more commuter style posture with my back straight, right? But if I wanted to be in a more like aggressive style posture, I could by bringing my handlebar down, you know what I mean? So I think this bike can accommodate people my height at 5'11", 6 feet with shoes on, and maybe even people taller than me, you know what I mean? But definitely people shorter than me. So I normally don't do this with this vertical swivel handlebar, but this bike is pretty stable, like so stable where I never try to do this, right? Because handlebar can spin out on you, right? But I can use this bike without my hands on the handlebar, and I feel pretty comfortable doing so. I do have to balance the bike a little bit, but I normally don't suggest this with a vertical swivel handlebar, but giving y'all an idea of just how smooth this bike is. So we're not gonna try max speed pedal assist, and again, this bike does give you a lot of pedal assist sensitivity in mode 4 and 5, but it's not so much where you feel like your pedal is not being considered. You can ghost pedal, but you don't have to. You can keep up with the motor too. So 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. All right, looks like 31. I'm gonna go max speed, throttle only, but first I do want to mention there's a delay in your throttle. So I'm in mode 5, throttle only, right? Look at this. You see this little shake delay when I throttle only? The only way I can avoid that is to wait a little while and then it'll kick in eventually, or pedal first. But then like it goes away at 15 miles per hour, that little shake. But it is what it is. All right, so 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. All right, 31. All right, looks like 31 miles per hour, max speed throttle only. Now I will say this is not a bike that I would be using for the street a whole lot because of the vertical swivel handlebar. It's very like unforgiving. Even though this bike is very stable, this is still a vertical style handlebar. So, you know, the slightest turn to the right or left that's unplanned, you know, the handlebar can spin out on you. And you really don't want a handlebar spinning out on you if there are cars around you, you know what I'm saying? But I will be using this bike in more like urban areas because of the vertical swivel handlebars. So the good thing about the vertical swivel handlebar is you can make some pretty tight turns. Like you can cut some pretty tight corners because this bike is very narrow, even though it's long, it's narrow. You can go down some pretty narrow walkways like this one right here. Again, because the handlebar is on such a vertical swivel, you can make really sharp turns. You can go through some pretty tight walkways. You can avoid people and things pretty easily, I believe. So we're about to go max speed, throttle only, up a hill. This is a pretty steep hill. It's about a 35, 40 degree hill. We're gonna see how much speed I lose going up this hill. And I have noticed that if you pedal first, the throttle doesn't do that delay that I talked about earlier. So 26, 25, we're in the steepest part of the hill now. 24, 23, 22, 21, 19, 18. Okay, 18, all right. So gforce DES cargo bike. I think this is a great cargo bike for the price. What I like the most about this bike is the battery life. Like I went on a 17-mile bike ride. I would say mainly in mode 4. I spent 6 of those miles going max speed pedal assist. I spent another mile going max speed throttle only. In that 17 miles, I still had all of my battery bars. So I definitely think you could go over 100 miles per charge on this bike based on my bike ride. Also like how smooth and comfortable this bike is. This is one of the few bikes that got this vertical swivel handlebar where I felt comfortable riding without my hands on the handlebar. The suspension was just okay. You can tell the suspension in the front and the back is really standard. The suspension in the back really kind of makes up for the suspension in the front. I like the speed. I was able to get up to 31 miles per hour. I do think the suspension might be better if you didn't have this additional suspension on your seat. Even though this is a cargo bike, I think in mode 1 through 3, the pedal assist was pretty much perfect. Usually with cargo bikes, they give you way too much pedal assist regardless of what mode you're in. This bike, mode 1 through 3, perfect pedal assist. Also, I do wish you had more advanced settings where you could change things like your pedal assist sensitivity. So really it's for the battery life, for the comfort and the speed. On a scale from 1 to 10, I give this bike an 8.5 for a cargo bike. Comment below what you would give this bike on a scale from 1 to 10. Any other e-bike you want me to review, also comment below. Thank y'all for watching. Peace.